So what's up, man? How's it going?
It's going well. It's a very busy day, uh, but no complaints.
Right
How
on.
about you? What'd you get done? Were you productive today?
Well, kinda. I had to drive to Anchorage, and the roads were terrible. So coming through from Wasilla to Anchorage, it was like being inside of a snow globe. You couldn't see anything for a pretty good period of time. I didn't feel like the roads were that bad, but I kept seeing people in the ditch. So either told me that the roads were worse than I thought they were, or people are worse drivers than me. I think it's the latter. I think there's a lot of people that drive to Anchorage, and a decent amount of them are capable, and then like 20 to 30% of them are just awful drivers, and they were all in the ditch.
It
So
reminds me of when I moved here, and there would be a little bit of snow on the ground, and I'd be like, "I'm not coming in. I'm not driving into the office." And they're like, "But you're from Alaska." I said, "Yeah, but you're not. Like, you don't know how
yeah,
to
it's
drive in
not
this stuff."
not me, dude. Washington makes the like national viral videos of like people in Washington just sucking at winter driving.
Yeah. Thankfully, there's not a lot around here. Kind of where I live now, if you go up the hill, I don't know, there's a you go up a little bit towards the mountain and it's like I'll have absolutely no snow and then people will come down with like 8 inches on their car and it's a mile up the road,
Mm,
if that, probably a mile.
yeah. They probably also don't have the infrastructure that we have in Alaska to take care of the roads and stuff when it does get bad. So the
They
ice
can't
is
take care of the
probably
roads
worse.
in general here. It's absolutely
Yeah.
pathetic.
Well, that's the other thing that we were talking about kind of reminds me of the post office I was bitching to you about because just
Mhm.
like I don't know, when you get older, you realize you pay all this money for these like federally funded things you just took for granted as a kid. We just grew up with the US Postal Service. Like that's just a thing that needs to
Yeah.
exist and so on and so forth. And then like as you get older, you're like, no, my tax money's paying for this and it fucking is not ran as well as the other mail delivery services.
Well, you work for UPS, right?
No, I work for FedEx, which is
Oh, for FedEx, okay.
not funded by tax. It's private, and
No, I know.
as a
Yeah, sorry.
result, it runs better. You know.
But I feel like, and well, it's actually funny because it's twofold, right? You pay for USPS with your taxes, but then you still gotta obviously pay to utilize the service. But then I still find it to be potentially cheaper than if I were to ship something from UPS.
Yeah, it is the cheapest way to ship stuff, but and in most cases it's fine. You know, in most cases it serves its function, but really the tell of it for me that it's a government agency is when you have a complaint and you go in and you're like, "Hey, listen, I fucking need to take care of this." Like the woman I was standing behind today, like you guys lost my passport. I don't know where it is. Can I have some help? And they're like they don't have to answer to you, and you can observe it in the employee behavior. They're like, "Yeah, I don't know. There's not really too much I can do about it. I'm pretty swamped back here, so just check back in a little bit." And she's like, "That's not a good answer for me. Like, you're not going to tell me if it shows up. Can I talk to the driver?" "Yeah, I can't call the driver. Sorry about that. Just gonna have to check back at some point. And we'll see. You know, maybe it'll show up." And then he started dissing on the drivers. He was like, "Honestly, a lot of them are getting pretty lazy, and since there's no signature required for
Uh,
those packages, a lot of them will just like leave it in your box." And you know, he said the driver on your route, they're new, so they don't really know the route very well. So it's possible he could have put it in the wrong box. So somebody else might have it. I don't, he's like, he was telling her all this terrible shit. And there's no possibility of any kind of repercussion. So there was no like alarm in his voice. And then he just started to flip it. And he's like, I'm working like 13 hours a day and there's like nobody else back here.
I
He's
don't
like,
care. I'm going on a trip.
yeah,
Like,
he's like, I don't have any breaks right now. So, and she was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like I was like, don't fucking feed into that. She's
so
like,
where
that
you were at
sucks.
at USPS?
I was at the USPS Annex, which is where they hold the packages. And I've dealt with this dude before, and he's been a fucking bitch to me before. And I was listening, and he's fine with me today. But I was listening to how he was talking to her, and I was just like, man, it's not that I hate you, but I hate this whole like arrangement here. It's like going to the DMV. It's like if you meet one of them and they're in a good mood, they'll try to help you, but they don't have to.
No, they don't. No, and
So
that's
you're
one of
just
those
at the
things where the
mercy.
stereotypes exist for a reason.
Yeah, you're at the mercy of if they're gonna be nice or not, but you certainly don't have any cards to play. And if you start being a dick, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, fuck you. You know, they're gonna flip it on you real quick,
Right.
basically.
Yeah, well, for all of our listeners out there, if you don't already know, there is a tool for USPS called informed delivery. Do you know what this is?
No, what's that?
So every morning I get an email and there's a scan of the piece of mail that's supposed to be in my mailbox
Oh,
today.
Hannah gets that.
Okay,
I didn't know
yeah,
that's
and
what
it
that
also
was.
tracks packages that you send and receive, and you can watch the tracking. Um, but there's been times where it's like there's supposed to be a birthday card for the boys in there, and then it doesn't show up, and you're like, "I didn't get this piece of mail," and you can like say that you didn't get it, but nothing's ever happened because of it. Like
Yeah,
it's like dealing with them; they can't do anything. Oh, you're just letting us know our statistics of
yeah, exactly.
not
Thanks for
yeah.
contributing to like the census of
Yeah,
UPS,
yeah, of how shitty we
USPS.
are, yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that he could not call the driver at all. Like, I know you have the fucking drive. Yeah, I know you can help me more, but the way this whole thing's set up, you're not gonna, and it's against protocol for you to do it. It's just, I don't know. They set it up in a way that's not benefiting the customer really. They're not going to go the
Yeah,
extra mile for you. Yeah, he was like, if I get it back here, I'm not going to call you because honestly, if I sit down and he's like, I'm so busy as it is, and I don't have 2 hours a day to call people when their stuff shows up. So you're just gonna have to. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, you're fucking 60 pounds plus overweight. That's me being generous. You're very overweight, and I can tell the rapidity at which you're speaking is not in a hurried manner. Like he was
right.
taking way more time with her than he needed to. So I'm like, you don't look like you're a dude on a time crunch to me. If I'm just going based on available evidence, you look like a guy who pokes around at your own fucking pace,
Well,
and you're here.
he's like
Yeah.
essentially what is he the receptionist for the
I
annex?
think
Is
he's
that
the only dude in the annex
oh
for the
wow.
yeah, I think it's just him, which maybe that sucks, but it's too much autonomy. They're not going to fire him, you know? It probably is kind of a shitty job because a lot of people come in there and bitch at him, but
But
I just don't like it, man.
yeah, no, I don't blame you. There's
It's just a
at the
reflection of our the way that our country operates, you know.
right. And it is actually the same for me here when I go to UPS. There's a couple people that you're like, "Oh, thank God." And then there's one particular that you're like, he acts like you are inconveniencing him so hard to do his job.
Hmm.
And I think it's because one day I went in there with a "Make America Healthy Again" hat.
Oh, you're in the wrong. Yeah, you're in the wrong state, dude.
And then I show up and I have, like, a family friend that was there too, and he's like, "Oh, this guy," and he, like, names him. He's like, "He's the slowest motherfucker in here. I can't stand," and he's just like, this is not a big room. And so
Yeah,
then this
that's
guy heard it,
awesome.
but yeah,
That's
it was great.
awesome. Well, I think in Trump's first term, he was kind of like playing with the idea of getting rid of the USPS.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Do you remember that?
Mm,
It was a thing.
vaguely, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess what we'd have to, privatize it. Well, I mean, you can probably sell it,
Yeah. I don't know how it would
right?
work. Could you just
I
hire
think
like
you'd
another
probably sell
country
it.
to just do the same shit? Does it have to be the USPS?
Another country to do it?
No,
Oh,
no.
'cause the United States.
Can't you, like, do we need what is what is USPS? How does it truly differ? Is it because like, what's different between that and other mail carrier services? Is it because it's
I'm
federally
not sure.
funded?
I would just say that would be my only assumption.
So then you would put out like a bid.
Mhm.
They would put out like a federal bid of like, here's the budget. Who wants to do it? Who wants to deliver all the mail for us? And,
Yeah. Yeah, and
which
they'd
again doesn't seem. Why do we have to have it federally
yeah,
funded? Why can't we just?
sounds feasible, yeah.
Why can't we just have it be something that if you want to mail something, you go fucking pay for it and mail it? Why does it have to be federal?
I mean, you can do that.
Yeah, so why do we need the other? I don't
I don't
understand.
know. I I don't know.
Is there a
My hope,
reason?
my thought, and this is totally wrong because this is still government, is the efficiency of it is nice, as far as, like, being delivered and stuff, but I feel like a FedEx or a USPS, probably more like FedEx, could probably buy it and manage it pretty well.
Or just have the contract, and if they fail, they would be
Yeah.
they would lose the contract? Just don't have
Yeah,
a
okay,
bunch of, like,
so
nameless government employees?
what happens with that if they do fail, and then everybody's out of that job? But I guess, like, when we had the government shut down, our my mail was still being delivered.
Yeah, why I just don't understand why is that part of, like, what was guaranteed when when the country was established is that we had, like, a mail delivery system funded by the people? Is that something that like, what does this fall under? I don't understand. It
Let's see what ChatGPT thinks.
I understand public education to a degree, to provide education for everyone,
This is going pretty deep into this.
because we have, like, the
But if I just
library, public education, USPS. What's the
so
point?
this is interesting. One of the things is it says is that the USPS must deliver mail to every address in the country. Oh, no, I was thinking outside of it says universal, but then it talks about the country. But private carriers are not required and often unwilling to serve remote or unprofitable areas. But again, that doesn't
Mm,
mean that if you were to contract it out and make it a requirement that it couldn't happen.
yeah. So it's like to guarantee that some dude in bumfuck wherever, if his like rich relative died and he was getting like news of this, it's like guaranteed to be delivered to his house by some sort of method, right? Like he needs to be able to get that information. He might be some poor broke ass dude, but if his relative and some across the country dies and left him millions of dollars, like the USPS will come through and bring him the information, you know? Is that
That's
kind
true.
of the
But
I don't
I guess, but I still don't understand why that can't be part of a
outsourced.
contract and outsourced, yeah.
Yeah, and especially since our like the majority of our information nowadays is delivered via email. Like we can do
Mhm.
digital information delivery very easily. We can fax documents. Very rarely do we need to mail
We don't even
like
fax really anymore.
yeah, but you can mail official documents. Like I've had to do that pretty recently, like signature official
Yeah,
documents, you have to mail them.
and I
Um
think some of that is nice, but I literally ran into this today with a project, in Eastern Washington where we had to deliver a statement of qualifications to, a client by tomorrow, but they require to have hard copies.
mm,
And because UPS, which is faster than USPS, actually decided that they couldn't guarantee it then at the right time, somebody's gonna have to go drive the 3.5 hours north to drop it off. But where that pisses me off is I'm like, why won't you just accept a digital copy?
instead of a hard copy. So it's
Yeah,
wait,
or
what
four
what
hard
what's
copies.
what I don't understand. Is it the document that doesn't have signatures on it? Or does it have
It
signatures on
it
it?
it has a cover letter which somebody signs, but it's not a contract or anything. It like you could
No.
digitally just put the signature on there,
I
which
had
is we
to
often do.
mail transfer of title from to sell my car. I had to mail the actual transfer of title because we had to sign it in front of what do you call it?
A notary.
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 Yeah, so like I understand that. It's like
Yeah,
another level of
but
whatever officiality, whatever that
well,
word
I would
is.
say 90% of the documents I create, I email out because the
Mhm.
client is fine with it. But there is that 10% that require hard copies, and I don't understand why.
We're moving. I feel like we're moving out of this era, and there's so many ways to digitally verify your like authenticity now.
Mhm.
Like they're gonna come up with like DocuSign's great.
Yeah, and there's
DocuSign's
lots of
so
different
good.
ones like DocuSign now.
That's how we did our house shit. Just DocuSign everything.
Mhm. Even when I went to go buy a new car, everything was just digital. No big deal.
We're moving away from this archaic system. And so then at that point, really all that USPS is a package delivery, is a package delivery vehicle, just like any of the other ones. Is
Yeah, and
undifferentiated,
but
federally funded. That's it.
we don't need, yeah, I'm just thinking like if like let's see, Friday
And everyone's
is
like,
Wesley's
"Oh,
birthday.
flat rate's so much cheaper than delivering with FedEx." It's like, yeah, but how much are we paying for this system with our taxes?
Right, correct, yeah. But I like
I
the
don't
ability,
know.
obviously, to send like a birthday card or a Christmas card. And you could do that from your house right now, but again, it still isn't something that would be eliminated if you just contracted it out.
Well, and also like nobody else can do the mailboxes because USPS like has they like it's like kind of a little bit like a racket because like FedEx or Amazon could set up like lock boxes
Oh, they
and
do.
yeah, they could set that shit up and basically do mailboxes right there instead of these mailboxes. Or we could have mailboxes that were accessible by everyone, not just the USPS, you know?
Yeah, that sounds harder. Well, I guess not with
I don't know.
codes. You do codes instead of keys, like, like when you live in, some suburban, what do you call it, a subdivision, like you can have these mailboxes where everybody's is right there and you need a key.
Do
But
you
then,
think
like
part of
in
it's like
mine,
tracking? Like tracking? Do
in
you think
what
there's
way,
a
like
tracking
tracking what we
element?
do?
Like yeah, like gathering statistics and shit.
Yeah, otherwise maybe I don't know. You know what's funny is we probably sound like freaking idiots to somebody right now that has the perfect answer to all of
Just
this.
more there's people that are like,
They're like,
"Oh my
"I'm
god, how
shutting these
long?"
dumbasses off if this is how they're."
They're going to talk for 20 minutes about the fucking USPS. Oh man, yeah. I don't know, just curious, whatever. When you get older, there's not so much to talk about, you know.
It's up to you.
Well,
Hey,
I
it's
mean, it's
funny.
not like we went to school together and watched some kid kick the shit out of some other kid. We can't talk about that.
Oh,
We
yeah,
can't
that's
make
true.
fun of our teacher, some shit that our teacher did because that happened fucking how many years ago? Like 20 years ago now?
Yeah, yeah. It's like I can't
Yeah.
talk about my sweet basketball games back in the day because 'cause I'm just some old guy
Sound
living
like
in my
some old, yeah. That's why
back in my
fucking
day.
old people
Marshall
talk
pulled
about the
that shit on
weather.
me once.
That's why
Oh,
that's why
true.
old people
Yeah.
talk about the weather and we're like when you're young you're like, "Oh, it's so dumb." They
Well, it's
don't
funny,
talk
like,
about
when you're
anything cool.
I think about, like, if I small talk in a grocery store or something, like, it's, literally what it is small talk. "Oh, how's the family? Blah, blah, blah." But then you get kids together that don't know each other, and they're like, "Hey, are you into Robux or Roblox? Or are you
Why
into
are you
Pokemon?"
black?
And yeah. Yeah, we can't ask that question.
Yeah. Why do
That's
you have
funny.
two moms?
Now
Yeah.
you're gonna get us in trouble.
That shit came up dude, my best friends when I was like 5 with my neighbors, we lived in the apartments in Palmer, and my neighbors split time between their dad's house and their mom's house, and their mom left their dad to be a lesbian, and they would tell me the craziest shit from over at mom's house. It wasn't at dad's
At
house,
5
but they
years
were like
old?
they were 1 year and 2 years older than me, so
Mm.
they were like 6 and 7, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, they were
You know
like,
that? 6, 7, have you heard about
"Oh
that?" Sorry, I'm
man,
yeah.
stupid." They were
Yes.
like, "We watched this video at like like wandered through the living room and saw these videos of like fucking porn. Like some dude, he's like, this guy put his wiener into this girl's butt and he peed in it, and I was just like, what the fuck, you guys? Like he
Wait,
had to
this really
pee and he
happened?
didn't want to get it. Like watching some video at the mom's house. He's like,
Wait,
yeah,
why
they're
are the
just
lesbian moms watching that?
I don't know, man, but they told me some gross stuff that they saw over there. And then yeah, and then one day I was at school and I came back and my mom was like, "They're gone, man." And I was like, "What?" She didn't say they were gone, man. She's like, "Your friends, they left." And I'm like, "Why?" And their dad had a heart attack.
Oh, shit. I thought you were gonna say the dad's got custody or the dad got custody.
No, he was like this overweight dude. He's really cool, like mechanic guy, but he's like super overweight. And then Yeah, they were supposed to come back to his house on Monday or something, and he had died on like Friday. Or he'd been in there for like quite a few days, and they opened the door and he was in there like on his chair just dead. And then the
Dang.
kids were all like in shock, and they wandered over to my house and they're like, "Is Nick home? Can Nick come out?" And my mom was like, "No, it's school time. He's at school." And they're like, "Oh." I never saw him again after that. It was like my best friends.
Oh, sad.
Never heard anything from him again. We used to stand across, our houses were like directly opposed to each other, and we had glass front doors. And we used to walk up to the glass at night and like look over and wave at each other, and then like go and like fog it up and write shit on it. Yeah.
Do you remember their names?
Bradley and Ryan.
Do you remember their last name? You don't have to say their last name, but like to where you could look them up.
I think Foss, Foss, and I did, and
Well,
I
I was
feel like a moron
trying
because I
for you to
looked.
not say their
It
name, but
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who cares? I looked him up, and I think I found Ryan Foss on Twitter, and I sent him a message, and I was like, "Hey, I used to live across the road from." Never fucking said anything back.
does
Never
was
replied.
that back when it was Twitter or X?
No, that was in like the past few years.
Oh, so it does I actually don't have an X account, or I might. It's very old, but can you
I believe
like
it
see
said
if
he
they
read
read
them.
it?
I believe it said he read it.
Maybe he doesn't remember. Maybe he's traumatized as a child.
Maybe he's
Maybe you bring back
traumatized.
memories.
Yeah,
I never want to see
exactly.
Nick again.
Maybe he's like, "What a fucking fag. Why would he hit me up after all these years? Does he
Yeah.
not have like friends now? Like we were five.
That's
It's been 30 years."
true.
Yeah. Sad. That's
Uh,
what kind of person I am though, man. I think I am like a pretty emotional person, you know.
I'm
I care
annoyingly
about
emotional,
people.
I think.
Yeah, I
Dude,
care
you
about
go back
people.
and forth with this shit. Last time you're like, "I'm not a compassionate person."
Well, I don't care about when I see people behaving stupidly, I don't care. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm very
Yeah, yeah.
merciless in my assessment of like, did you do this to yourself? Or like, you know what I mean? Like if I see you
Yeah.
being dumb and you're like, why am I in pain? I keep stabbing myself in the hand. Why does it hurt? It's like, well, because you're fucking I'm not gonna like waste energy like patting
Yeah,
you
that's
on the
good.
back trying to make you feel better because you keep fucking stabbing yourself in the hand. So like I have a quick harsh cutoff of like I won't because I care. And so if I allow myself to care about every dumb fuck, I don't have enough emotional uh energy left for, you know, myself, really.
Mhm.
It depletes you.
I think that's
So,
fair.
yeah.
I know I'm pretty damn emotional, but
Yeah. Well, I don't
and
cry like a
sensitive.
bitch or anything.
I'm not saying but no,
Like
I
you do.
you know what? It's okay for men to cry.
Yeah,
Dude, you know what
totally.
gets me though? It's anything kid related. Cause when I see like those Shriners commercials or whatever, I'm like, "Just turn it off. Just, I'm not just leave me alone. I just
Uh,
need a minute."
I get emotional. It's weird. I get emotional when I see like just purely innocent, happy things. I don't get emotional at sad stuff so much, but if I see a movie and it's like, or some TV show or something, it's just someone being like really nice, or like two best friends and it's like everything's wonderful and the sun's shining and everybody's having a great time. I'm like, innocence, you know, and
Yeah,
it
that's nice.
destroys like innocence lost because you don't get that back as you get older. Like if you get that feeling, you have to work so hard and like delude yourself in order to like believe in those things anymore. You know, we see all of the danger and the predators right at the edges of like this small little area where innocence is allowed, like where we protect and preserve innocence. And to like to see people who are capable of like opening their heart so much and just being happy and innocent and like carefree, to me that gets me because that's what I
I
want to
think that's
be.
nice, but I
Yeah.
also think that a lot of people I see that are like that are idiots.
Yeah, if you're an adult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's mostly kids stuff, but
yeah.
it's also just people being like generous or You know, there's stupid people, but there's a simplicity in love that's not got barriers in front of it. Like I said about myself, like I'm very guarded with how I open my heart to, strangers or people that I see like repeating patterns of like, hurting themselves or toxic shit. Like I have a lot of barriers and obstacles in the way for me to be like that open and loving and so when I see it and it looks so effortless where people are just like we can connect and have a great time and not have to like laugh without worrying, what people think. It's like I crave that on such a deep level, but it's so hard cuz people kick you in the teeth when you do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
what do you just think about, like, you said before, you're like, I'm not like a person that can just sit down and chill and hang out. But then that's kind of what you're
That's what I
referencing, is that
want.
you
Yeah,
crave that.
this is gonna
Dude,
turn into just me unboxing my shit.
I'm
This
gonna
is
be
what
your
we're gonna do.
therapist. Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, that's cool. This could be a cool journey, I guess.
Well, like,
You're
for me,
right.
and we've done this before, and hopefully when you move here, if that happens, that we'll do it again. But one of my most favorite things in the world is to sit around a campfire
Oh yeah.
and just chill with people and talk and laugh and, like, not, like you said, just be carefree, not really worry about anything.
Hmm.
But that's like, I can even do that by myself though. I can sit out by a fire by myself and enjoy it because it's so peaceful.
True.
But it's
True.
also, I like to share that with people.
Yeah. I like to see people get touched by other people's emotions. I like to see like people affected positively by the
Like being
openness.
sympathetic and empathetic?
Yeah, in a real way though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
No,
no pretenses. This is not about like some stupid fucking political motive. This is like I saw you as a person in this state, and I recognized it for what it was, and I'm like opening my heart to connect with you. I think that's like really powerful.
oh, yeah, I love that. I feel like that's, like, such good bonding. It's just bonding, right?
Yeah, it's fun. Well, I think that's the point. Like, I think over the past couple of years, I've gone through like soul searching, kind of like what is the whole point of everything. And I, it sounds stupid. Probably most people know this and think this, but it's all just about love. Like, if there is a point, if there is like a meaning to everything, the meaning is love. That's it.
Yeah, I love that.
That's
I
the whole
love that.
point of everything. Like, if there is a God, God is love, and love represents the connections between every one of us. Like, that weaves us into this giant tapestry that is not like we think of ourselves as individuals, and the more older we get, the more isolated and individualized we see ourselves. I mean, you weave a fabric when you build a family, but when you're a kid, you start out as part of like a giant tapestry. You don't see yourself so much as like I'm just me, whatever. The idea of like there being a connectivity between you and other kids and stuff, like it's real easy for kids get together and like you said, just start talking, and before you
Mhm.
know it, they're like this, and whole groups
Right.
of them are like together and they feel that togetherness. And that's like I think that is what like death would be. It would be a return to us all being kind of like woven
I
together.
totally understand you now, yeah. I know
Yeah,
what
and
you're
the
saying.
connection is
Just
just it's just love.
that simplicity, how life was so simple back then, you didn't have, even as you got more into your teenagers, you started to see kind of that fall apart, I would say.
Yeah,
But that's kind of part of becoming an adult too. But I like your point in saying, like, that might be what we get back to in death, is just the happiness and simplicity of, they won't even be life anymore. You don't have to live through the hardships and everything. It's hopefully just fun and
there's a
happiness,
comfort.
positivity, and love.
Yeah, there's a comfort of returning to the connection and realizing the worst feeling that I think we experience is loneliness, and I think that is because we have this thing in us that's an ego that makes us feel like it's why people get self-conscious of themselves. Like I'm embarrassing myself. I'm going to further alienate myself from other people aren't going to understand me. or they're going to misunderstand me and they're going to think I'm some pariah and never want to talk to me. Like that's when they put people in solitary confinement because it's literally like more painful than torture. And so like when you die, you finally realize that the thing that you were craving, you're afraid of yourself dying because you only imagine yourself as existing as this like person, and if that person's gone, what even are you? But it's like you are literally part of like this giant thing, and when you die, I think that comfort that you get is you go, oh, okay, I understand. I was freaking out over nothing. This is way better, right? This is so much better. So
Yeah,
that's
I
my
love
take
that.
on it.
I love that take. Do you think as adults living as we do now, we're capable of being like that? I think there are
I think
some.
we're driven apart on purpose
I yeah, but not by.
by evil.
Yeah, yes,
You
and
don't
okay,
have to be
let's
specific. It would be just be evil, right?
and let's get into good and evil because
Good is love,
the,
evil's the
good is love.
antithesis.
I think, and well, I want to go a little deeper in that, and maybe even talking a little bit of. I'm not like super good at talking religion, but the way I feel about it is I think that if you don't believe in something after death, then you don't believe that there's a consequence for everything, then that means you don't believe what is truly evil and good. You get to make it up by yourself. You get to decide by yourself, and you're not told by anybody what's good and what's evil, and you live your life that way. I think I'm saying there are a lot of people, so many people that are not religious, right?
Mm.
They're capable of still believing in what is good or bad. But I'd say the majority, if you don't believe that there's consequences in the afterlife, then you don't really believe what's really good and what's really evil.
Okay, so I agree. The idea of judgment means that there's value to choices, right? And for there to be value, that means that there is some there's some value, right? There's foundations, like there's concrete yeses and concrete nos, right? So you for like to believe in absolutes, that's the word I'm looking for, like absolute value, you have to believe that there's some organizing principle to everything, right? Like you can't, and I don't even understand how you can't believe in some. So there's order and there's chaos, right? And so you either believe everything is chaos and there's no meaning true meaning to anything, and any meaning that we observe in things is just it's just value that we attribute to it to give our lives meaning enough that we can carry on until we die, right? Like it's fake value for us to say like, oh, this relationship is really worth something. Like let's continue doing this. Like people that don't believe in anything would think, well, I'm just convincing myself of that because it makes life easier for me and I can get to further along and I don't think about death so much, and then eventually I die and I don't have to worry about it anyways at that point.
Yeah,
But
that's such a sad thought to me.
it just doesn't like I believed it for years, and my rationale for believing it was that people who God believed in God because it was easier, and people who believed
Mhm.
in chaos believe in chaos because it's more difficult. Like it is the thing that you don't need. Like there's no evidence of God in like physical sense where I can point and say there's a God, there's heaven, there's this. There's
But there's
way
also no
more.
evidence there is not.
There's way more evidence that people are compiling that would oppose things that we would say pointed towards that room for God is getting smaller and smaller,
Do you think so?
uh,
I don't.
based on shit that they said in the beginning time, like long time ago, like when Christianity first came around, and they're like the earth is only this many years old. This is only this. This is only that. Like all of these like dogmatic rules that they laid down, those things are like disproven by science. And so if you seek refuge in those things for your Christian identity to be like, well, dinosaurs didn't exist, and that's like your thing, and if they prove dinosaurs exist, then you're like, well, fuck, I can't believe in God anymore. Like that's
Yeah, it's
stupid.
pretty
Like you're
pathetic.
setting yourself up to be disproven at that point, you
I'll
know?
tell you that if you speak to a real Christian, like God-fearing person that lives by the Bible, anything you can ever come up with, uh, as far as evidence against, they have a verse that says otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Can you
I
pause for 1 second? I'm getting a
yeah,
call.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, it was my fault.
No,
Had
it
to
wasn't
answer
your
a phone
fault.
call.
Life
Um,
happens. Um,
yeah, life or
yes.
whatever, you know?
Or whatever. Yeah, exactly, right? Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Good
Just throw that
good
in there.
callback, man. I forgot the name at this point. I'm not even
That's
conscious of
great.
that.
You
Yeah.
came up with
So
a name, you forget about it.
I'm so bad at naming stuff, but I feel like it doesn't even matter what you name something. If it turns out good, people will just remember the name, right?
I 100% agree, and also, though, I love the simplicity of it because that's the point.
Right. Yeah, it's just kind of all encompassing because we're not like the history guys. Like, yeah, follow
Yeah,
us every
exactly.
week for
Yeah.
your history. I'm saying that I had friends after college that tried to do a podcast. It was actually pretty. I listened to it. It was pretty entertaining, but they were doing a history, like a round table history thing where they went through history. I feel like if you get into something specialized like that, you have to be good because there's people that are real fucking good at that stuff, right?
That's a great point.
There's some real
I
good
don't
history podcasts.
and I don't feel I wonder if you feel this way. I don't feel like there's many, if any, subjects that I feel so confident about that I will argue with you no matter what, and I think I will win.
And that's the more pathetic view on why we have to stay really generalized because we aren't specialized
I
at.
don't think it's pathetic. I think it's great because most people are probably feel that way, and they're like, "What is the average person,
Yeah,
potentially
but
average
some
person?"
people watch podcasts because they're like, I want to learn about something specific, and then they come here and it's
Yeah,
like, what's the fucking USPS? What even is
that or
that?
there's or there's a famous person. So maybe we'll get a famous person at some point that could tell us the importance of USPS.
Yeah, maybe like we'll be able to be like, yeah, let's bring in Rob Lowe or something, and
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yeah,
I want to bring on
but
Jelly Roll, talk about his historic
Jelly
weight
Roll, that's a
loss.
very current celebrity.
Yeah.
I said Rob Lowe.
Uh, Rob
Hasn't
Lowe
been
is
relevant for a while.
Rob Lowe looks like Rob Pelinka, who is the general manager of the Lakers, and he was the general manager of he was Kobe Bryant's agent, and he looks
Rob
just
Lowe.
like him. Rob Lowe and Rob Pelinka, look him
It's
up.
a weird name to say, Rob Lowe.
Yeah, it's probably fake, right? It's not his real name.
Rob Lowe. I think it's his real
Let's see.
name. Why would that be a
You think
fake
so?
name?
A
I don't
lot
know.
of
I
them have
guess
fake names.
that's true. Like Tom Cruise, I think is fake.
Robert Hepler Lowe. No, it's real.
Oh, look at that. You can usually tell if they're fake. Like Cruise. Like I'm just
Yeah.
cruising.
Yeah, it's like a porn name. Let's see if Tom
Tom
Cruise's real
Cruise
name.
with the sunglasses. Like he is fucking Tom Cruise. Like that's good branding, man.
It's actually this is hard. I
What?
imagine
Is Tom Cruise real? Is that
it's
his real name?
Tom Cruise Mapother
Mapother the fourth
Mapother the fourth. So is
doesn't quite
Cruise
have
like
the
his
same
middle
ring to
name?
it. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Distance
It's
himself
not.
from abusive and chaotic father.
Oh yeah, he was fucked up, dude. Why do you think he's a
Uh,
Scientologist?
well, that's funny because I almost said abusive and Catholic father.
He was a Catholic, wasn't he?
Uh, I
He
don't
grew up
know.
he grew up
Uh,
Catholic. I think Tom Cruise almost became a priest. A lot of them seem to have
really?
that. Yeah. A lot of them. Oh, yep. Cruise grew up in near poverty and had a Catholic upbringing, and his
Hmm.
father was a merchant of chaos. But yeah, he almost became a priest, I believe. Cruz
Dude.
briefly took a Catholic Church scholarship and attended St. Francis Seminary.
Wow.
He aspired to become a priest. A lot of these extreme ass people, they people that are like high achievers and stuff, they have that where they're
Well,
like, they thought about becoming some like high level religious person, and then they're like,
yeah, well, you
do
can
something
also
else.
try and point to the fact that there's some weird shit that might happen in the Catholic churches.
True. I think Tom Cruise was, so he said his dad was crazy. He was dyslexic. Did you ever see his teeth before they fixed him?
What,
He
the
was a
one that
hill.
goes right down the
No, dude, his teeth before I think they were always misaligned, but they were fucking like hillbilly teeth.
hold on. Oh, I saw when he was young. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Super bad.
like a redneck dude,
Yeah, yeah,
and then they
absolutely.
spiffied him up for Hollywood.
But have you seen the one where it's a picture of him and they draw a line
Yeah, it's
straight
not
down his nose and his
symmetrical.
tooth? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's way better than it was.
no,
I
he's
mean,
a
yeah, I'm
handsome
looking at the
dude.
side by side and it's like, whew, that's
He's a
rough.
handsome dude, but
Dude,
he
I
came
had bad
from
teeth.
that
You
background.
remember?
I remember you had braces and shit. A bunch of
You
shit. Didn't
remember
you
what it
have
was like
that thing
before?
on top that they had to turn the key in?
I did not have that, thankfully.
You had the
The
rubber
space, like
bands though,
the
right?
I did have the rubber bands, yeah.
Yeah.
But these teeth are all the way
Yeah,
up
they were all.
here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty
Yeah, yeah.
common.
And then this tooth was back there and closed up, and I actually have a scar on the
Yeah,
inside of
my
my.
bottom teeth.
Oh yeah.
I never got mine
It's funny to,
fixed.
but when you smile, you look like you have, yeah, your top teeth are super straight.
No, they overlap.
Do they?
Nobody can really tell though.
Mm.
Wasn't bad enough
I
to
was,
get fixed.
I was just saying I have a scar right here though, because one time somebody, either Chris or Connor, pushed one of the other, and their head went back and hit me right here when I had really messed up teeth, and it split my
And
lip
your
wide
snaggle
open.
tooth split your tooth open.
Yeah, it was
Damn,
like
dude.
white and like fatty. It was awful.
Yeah,
It was.
that
I didn't even go
nasty
get
fatty
stitches,
tissue.
which is dumb.
That's funny.
I think there's twice in my life I should have got stitches that I did not go and get stitches.
Yeah. Well, like what? What were those instances?
Well, that was one, and then one I was cutting a lime. I was actually on the phone with Micah, and I was like holding the phone like this, and I was cutting a lime, and I like pushed in and stabbed my hand, and
Hmm.
I
That's
pulled it
the
out, and then
nasty
start to
part.
see the yeah, and then the white fat. It's like white as hell. It starts coming out, and you're like, that's not good.
Yeah, that's deep.
Super glue, baby.
Well, do you want to go back to the religious topic?
We can go back to the religious topic. I
I
was
feel like,
saying that.
yeah.
Sorry, do you want to?
No, yeah, you were saying that people had verse from scriptures to refute the people that were
Yeah.
like,
So my brother Joe and my brother Chris now are pretty religious, and if you have a question about like that stuff, probably more so Joe because Joe's been in it for a long time. He has the answer based on scripture, and it's like it's very convincing, and I love that because that's what I want. I want those answers because I believe in God, and I want to continue to, and I want to hear the arguments against the stupid shit that people say.
well, they call it like I've heard non-religious people call it the best book of like what is it?
Fiction.
Yeah, the best book ever written, the best poetry or whatever. But it's like I think, oh, is that sweat? What is that? Dog spit?
No, that's her drool. She just got done
Nice.
eating.
Nice. Uh no, I think that the truth in the Bible is like it's I see it as like the same as like saying 2 + 2 = 4, right? It's the same. It's like tapping into like truth on that level of like, math is truth, right? Math is like we have absolutes, right? Don't we? Unless you disagree with math.
No, I 100% agree with math, but you've not seen the people trying to convince you that math is racist?
But that goes into the anti-religious shit that we're talking
Okay.
about.
Yeah, yeah. There you
If
go.
you
Okay.
want to if you want to like dismantle everything, right? Because you don't believe, that's my point. There's two groups of people. There's people who believe things can be organized into some semblance of sense, right? We can make sense of things if we can like establish like That's bad, right? Can we all agree that that's bad and that's good? Like, if we can agree that those things are absolutes, then we can build off of that. Well, if that's bad, then this also must be bad.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
I love where
and
you're
then
going with
this
this.
must
Yeah.
be good, right? You can start to like actually build some structure that makes sense. The
Sorry.
cat's butthole in the background.
That's
It's like giving us a show back there.
Dude, we should
That's an
charge for that.
example of
Knock it off.
evil right there. We're trying to like
Yeah.
have a conversation and she's using like seductive techniques to try to derail our topic.
I'm sorry, but
No,
yeah,
but okay,
continue
so
what you
like
were saying because I like it.
yeah, so like the whole idea that that you can make order out of things, right? And then honestly, your cat's butthole fucked me all up, man.
Dude, it's still cracking me up. I'm
I can't
trying to say,
even
I'm
I can't
trying
even
to
try to be
say.
serious anymore.
But that's just funny. Like arguing against math is so fucking dumb because math wasn't. It's not like math. Math has definitely been around forever. Like it has to, but it provides structure. It's not some sort of like
It
what
unlocks the
people would
secrets
argue
of the
is mythical
universe.
or something.
It unlocks the secrets of the universe. You from 2 plus 2 equals 4, you can get into like advanced fucking mathematics and then create a computer and then fly a rocket to space. Like these are
Hmm.
demonstratable things that have come from these things, other things that we know. So I feel like the evidence of their power comes from what we get from them, right? And I think the same thing comes from like biblical values. The power is in, there is a like a low level, there is a simplicity if you go far enough back in that stuff of like, and it's shit people doesn't don't want to talk about because there's things that people don't like in the Bible nowadays, right? You still laughing about the cat's asshole? You are a child.
It's like she's never come in here when we've recorded.
That's why I don't like cats, dude. Cats are the devil, man.
Oh, Jess is gonna kill you.
No, cats are fine.
Yeah, you want my wife to like you? You better not ever say that again.
I don't I don't know, man. Um,
uh,
but yeah. So anyways, I think arguing like with people about the Bible is dumb, you know?
I think arguing with people about the Bible who've never read the Bible is dumb.
No, I think my point is I think defending yourselves against people who are like, well, this isn't true. No, that's not true. And they just want to keep
Mm,
coming at you, like disproving the Bible. And for you to sit
yeah,
there and like try to defend it, like like,
yeah,
you're going to
absolutely. Yeah.
prove them of something and then that's going to make them convert. It's not going to happen.
Actually, it just seems to be an as well. I don't know. Like people are saying that Charlie Kirk has made a lot more young men read the Bible, but I think a lot of like I think
Well,
it's
it's evidenced by
interesting.
your ability to form an argument. Like if you listen to him and he can form a cogent argument against these kids that are like throwing
Kind
everything
of
at
what
him, and
I'm
he's
saying.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's like, well, these break down into this, and that breaks down into that, so boom and boom, and that's it. And it's like versus these kids who are scrambling. Well, what about this? Well, what about this? And he's like, it's the calm composure, and it's the fact that like it just works, right?
I know it's funny because he'd be like, "Let's stay on topic. Like we can
Yeah.
discuss that later, but let's still, make sure that you understand what I'm saying here." But
And he's not a fucking magician or anything. It's literally just adhering to like old school biblical values, which nowadays seem like magic to kids because they haven't been exposed to any of that stuff, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I
Speaking
don't
of
know, man.
teeth,
Hmm?
sorry,
Where'd that come from?
I had to get a mouth guard, and he's like, "Do you want to keep your digital
3D
teeth?" And
printed teeth,
I was like, "Yeah."
Butterfingers.
Yeah, I just broke them. Just broke my teeth. Sorry, I went a little squirrel on you there. Just gets yeah, it's annoying arguing with people. I think it it goes back even to what we've talked about before is like the social media arguments of politics is the biggest waste of time. And if you are able to separate that away, like get that away from you, you are happier as a person, evident of the people that constantly post. So, but
True. True,
the
true. Yeah,
your
that's a good
point
point.
of just not being able to argue, like, you're not gonna convince somebody with a Bible scripture if they're not willing, and so just like you're not gonna convince anybody on social media that your politics are smarter or
No, you
better.
convince them by being a reasonable, rational person. But that's like what you said about Bible scripture, like you like it because you can see the truth in it. It's
Mhm.
like if those ideas that are represented in those Bible verses, like it is a rule book of like how to like live your life in the best possible way. And even if you don't believe it in a religious spiritual sense, you can just look at it from an was an anthropological sense of like this is historical like compiled data that's been um the stories have been like verbally communicated for a while. The stories have been refined into like the most distilled version of like the truth, you know? I think of
Yes,
it
yeah.
that way. Like there's historical value. Like a lot of people thought there was value to these stories enough so that they've been preserved for as long as they have, right? So, um but yeah, I think that like we went to therapy for a while, and a normal therapist that you talk to is going to try to approach something from like a scientific standpoint, right? They're going to approach it from all this like pseudoscience shit of, well, that's coming from this repressed thing and that repressed thing and blah, blah, blah. And
Mhm.
they try to like throw a bunch of shit at you and convince you that you want to like fuck your mom or whatever.
Right,
And,
yeah.
and it's just wild stuff. They're all trying to
Yeah,
figure out a way to attack it from from a position that has, and they're all trying to stay away from the religious thing. But we went to a therapist who actually was a religious dude, and he approached it from a religious like moral perspective and broke things down, and it was like literally like it made so much sense. He made it make so
that's
much
nice.
sense. It was so
That's
easy.
so comforting. That's more comforting than being told you wanna fuck your mom, that's for sure.
Way more comforting than
Yeah.
that. Unless you actually do want to fuck your mom, then that might be more comforting to
Well,
have
in
someone
that
like
case, then you
finally
like, that person's like,
understand you.
"Oh my god, you're right, I do."
Yeah.
Oh, no, someone's gonna clip that. I do not.
No.
Uh, it's like,
Yeah.
it makes me, as you were talking about it, just makes me think of, like, there's dirty tactics, of course, in that stuff, I feel like. Like, that is, like, high level there's a professional therapist that's telling you that, but it seems like a dirty tactic, and then I think about, like, when you start arguing with somebody else and how they resort to things. I don't wanna say like that, but they'll resort to the more personal part because they don't know how to argue what's next. It's like, "You're a freaking retard," instead of actually making a good point. For instance, um, somebody has been going off on, like, social me like, a total constantly posting political, super far left, posts. And then another person is arguing with them constantly. And maybe they do throw a couple jabs here and there. But then what I saw was the person that disagreed with the original poster commented on that person's, this is getting complicated. Okay.
Comment on that person's
Then
personal page or something?
so no, these people were friends on Facebook.
Okay.
And then on a non-political post, somebody comments, "Oh, your daughter's cute," or something. And then that child of a man goes, "Whoa, I was fine with you being all crazy with politics on my post, but when you comment on my family, I think you're a freaking creep, so I'm gonna block you."
The child did that?
He's a man child.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. We might need to.
You got to be
Okay.
specific.
Okay.
Was he a
I gotta get
child or not?
specific.
Yeah.
No, he's an adult. I'm gonna get
Okay,
specific
so
because I'm
the person was upset about the political shit, and then when the other person tried to be civil in a non-political setting,
correct, correct.
the other person brought politics back into it and was like, "Fuck you, don't
I
try to be
called him
my
a
friend."
creep. Yeah, like he's
and
a
tried to
child, like,
disparage him as a
pervert, yeah.
person,
Yeah,
disparage him as a yeah.
it was really pathetic, and I'm like,
It
I
was like
cannot
obvious
stand.
what they were doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad. So that's why I mean they resort to the personal attacks instead of just like you can't the a lot of these people are so they don't have the ability to separate disagreements with being a bad person, what they think makes you a bad person. So if you disagree with me on this thing, you are an awful person, and there's no way you could possibly say something nice about my family. And
Yeah.
so it was like turns it into a negative and just blows up.
Well, they don't have any organizing principle to the way that they think. It's been created from nothing. So like the values of like what's more important, right? There's nothing there's not it's just kind of craziness. And then
Yeah.
you add to that like, the I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know what I
No,
was
it's just
saying.
funny. If you want to go like boil it down, it's like when you and I one of the times we recorded, we talked about how I really enjoyed the Marvel movies, and you are like, I'd actually really don't because of this. That's like me then being like, go fuck yourself. You're an awful person.
Yeah.
Like that's literally it. Like you can't.
It's
That means I can never agree with you on anything ever again.
yeah, the idea that you're a bad person over something relatively minor, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Oh,
just it's
that's kind of the
that's what.
thing. Well, what's the point of religion, right? Is like we're all bad people, right? You have to start
But
there.
we're able to be forgiven.
Yes, but if you agree that we're all bad and we are all like live in sin or whatever, which I think is
Right.
fairly strong evidence that everyone does bad things. And that's the
Yeah.
problem is that a lot of these people don't think that they ever do anything bad. They think that they have this moral high ground over the people they're talking to. And so they get to then sound off and be like, well, I've decided you're a terrible piece of shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Yeah.
so you don't think
That's
you ever do anything or say anything that's not right, you know?
I would feel
It's arguing from two different
gosh,
places.
I would say back in my 20s, I used to think I was right about everything and I would argue with people about stuff. But now
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I love hearing other people's point of view and then coming down to some sort of agreement because it just makes me feel like we're all more closely aligned than what the news and politics tell us. So when you're a grown ass adult and you don't have the ability to have a normal conversation with somebody without resorting to uh, dirty tactics, I know you're at that moment not a very good person, and you don't live a good happy life.
Well, I just think being open to the possibility that we all can be wrong, and that doesn't automatically mean you need to like die, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, and I think that's the difference, right? Like, so Christianity, or I don't know, oh God, she's coming back. um,
she's laying down. Oh, she's
as
gonna
soon as I
start.
said
Never mind.
Christianity, she was like, "All right, I'm preparing.
No wonder you think they're the devil.
Not gonna let this get too sanctimonious." Um, no, but so Christianity thinks everyone is sinful, right? And
Correct. Yeah.
so like if I say something you're doing is wrong, I'm not saying like I fucking hate you, right? Or like if you say biblically something's wrong, it doesn't mean like we can't be friends. And I'm not even
Right.
like
Yeah.
a strong religious Christian person or what have you, but I just think like it's okay to like point. I think the problem is we can't point out mistakes people make anymore because they're too like sensitive about it. You can't tell
Yeah.
someone they're
Agreed.
overweight. You can't say like, "Hey, you're fucking fat. You're being a slothy, you know, just
Gluttonous. Yeah.
gluttonous. Like it's not healthy." I'm not saying that because I hate you. I'm saying it because like that's not the way you're supposed to live. Like sure, remove the Bible aspect from it, like it's just not a healthy way to live. But then they have all these
Right.
like counterpoints they try to introduce. It's like, well, actually, it is healthy and body
Yeah.
positivity and shit. It's like, no, dude, like,
But also trust the science.
yeah, it's all this shit, and it's all like, it's anti-biblical.
Yeah.
That's why people
It's
hate the Bible, right? Because the Bible has these
correct.
rules.
Yeah.
They're very
Yeah.
clear, and they typically tend to be right. But then they'll be like, "But look at homosexuality. The Bible says you can't be gay, and there's plenty of happy gay couples." It's like, so see, we get hung up in these like things that seem to be paradoxes. It's like, well, the Bible can't be true because nothing's wrong with homosexuality. We all agreed, right? We all culturally agreed homosexuality is totally fine. So, and then if you want to
Unfortunately
be a
for a lot
Christian
of
person, you have to argue against you do have to argue against homosexuality.
yeah,
And it sucks
yeah,
then because then you're like, well, I'm not listening to them. They sound like a fucking homophobic bigot. And
correct. Yeah,
it's dumb,
but
dude.
but our country was built off of Christianity. So if you don't like it,
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to just like simplify it,
I
it
mean that's I
it
mean I
it
don't not
accomplished
saying
a
you
lot.
have to agree because this is a free country, but
It's
I
a free
really would
country,
like to stop
absolutely.
being demonized for believing in some of these more traditional values.
Yeah, and you kind of like that brings it back to the point I was trying to make. Christianity, I think it kind of does point to like everyone lives in sin, and as long as you try to be a good Christian and live by, you accept that you're imperfect, but you try your best. All of our sins kind of like they kind of equalize as long as you do those things. And so though being gay is biblically wrong, there's also tons of other things that other strong Christian people do that are biblically wrong as well. Like
Agreed.
everyone's gonna have
Absolutely.
to face judgment for their supposed sins. And I mean, just because we can't culturally see at this point, like why homosexuality would be wrong, I'm willing to entertain the possibility that it is wrong because a butthole wasn't designed for a dick. I mean, I'm willing to
Uh,
entertain the
I mean,
possibility that there's some
it's
fucking
not what your best
something
friend
to
as you were a
it.
kid saw.
I mean, babies come out of vaginas, but hey, what do I know? I don't know. Maybe a butthole's where it's at, dude. I don't know. It's
Uh,
such a stupid fucking argument. Like when you really get down to it and you're like, you want to talk fucking sense, like common sense, like let's get around all of this like PC shit that we have to like censor ourselves to not upset people and just get down to it. Like putting a dick into the place where your poop's supposed to come out of is not fucking normal. You
this is
rip
gonna
it,
make a great magic clip.
it fucking bleeds, it causes problems, it transmits other diseases. You can't procreate. Um, I don't know. Like
Well, no, but as a Christian, it's not your job to judge, and I think that's
if somebody's cool with the dick in their ass, who am I to tell them that they cannot enjoy that dick in
it's
their
true.
ass?
It's
And some
true.
people say it feels great. So I mean, maybe whatever, man.
Uh, not for me though.
I don't fucking care. I really don't care.
I
But
don't
like
care. I don't care either. And I
from a logical standpoint, I don't get it. Like not even just from a ew, I'm a homophobe. Like I just don't get it from a logical standpoint. I guess maybe there is something biological that makes you look at someone of your same sex and feel stronger attraction to that. You know?
yeah, you do you.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
judging you, and
I don't know,
I'm not.
man.
What the most important part for me with that is if I see that, sure, that's not for me, but I'm not going to start my judgment with you as a person based on that. Like I think no matter what, I start with the fact that somebody's a good person. I don't know what drove them to make the
Yeah,
life
dude,
choices that they've
some
made.
of the gay people I know are like really good people, like really
Same, yeah, same.
kind, like you want to talk about loving, Like
Yeah.
that's like they have the most open hearts of anybody.
Agreed.
So it is
Yeah,
really hard
totally.
to like judge people for the things that you like don't understand or can't biologically understand. That is a
Right.
great way to like dovetail into the because yeah, I don't get it from a biological. I don't want to even have the argument with somebody because I don't think you can reasonably argue uh in defense of it. But like you said, some of the best people that I've ever met are gay. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep. Same. Super loving. Will do anything for you. And
Yeah,
then there's on the flip side, there's some of the people, of course, straight people that are probably I've met more bad straight people. That's for sure.
absolutely. More straight people who are more fucked up in many more ways. You know, like that's the thing. That's the problem with Christianity is homosexuality becomes the linchpin argument in a lot of, and it is either makes a Christian or breaks you and drives you away from Christianity. And it's like the argument wants to like die on this hill of homosexuality, but it's like if we can just like accept whatever it is, either a sin or it's not a sin, who cares? Good person regardless. We can like move past that, right? Like
Yeah,
plenty
and
of
I
other sins,
honestly
right?
yeah, exactly, and I honestly, as what I would call myself a Christian for sure. I wouldn't say I'm a great practicing Christian by any means, but I would consider myself that, and I don't think that things like that keep you out of heaven.
I want to
My
see
gut
people happy.
yeah, yeah, my gut is just be a good person. We all make mistakes, but continue to do your best to be a good person, and, I think you're gonna be fine.
I want to see people happy, and therefore, that's where the conservative aspect of my personality kicks in because I want to I want to help prevent as many people from being unhappy as I possibly can. So if I see somebody doing something that's not contributing to their happiness, and I can see it, and I can tell them, and I'm not gonna let like people like shout me out of saying those things if I think it's going to be what like helps somebody ultimately.
Yeah,
However, if what I'm saying is right and it's not going to help anybody or serve any greater good other than to just like make me feel self-righteous because I said it, then I don't see any value in doing it for
sharing
a
that, yeah.
self-serving purpose. Yeah. Just do it like if you see some kid that's really fucking confused and you're like, "Oh man, you're a great person, but if you continue doing what you're doing, you're going to get further down the line and you're going to I can save you years of hardship by just like pointing out something that I see that you're doing. At least like
Yeah,
plant the
but you
seed
gotta
like
accept it.
yeah, you might want to think about this. Like I love
Yeah,
you, you're great, but consider this and then just leave it at that,
I 100% agree.
So, yeah.
Should I bring out the wheel? The new
Are
wheel?
we at the wheel? I guess we are. We have
I
about
I
20 minutes
yeah,
left.
couldn't remember what your cutoff was.
I said an hour and a half for today. I got to
And
start
that's about 20
cooking
more
some
minutes, right?
dinner. Yeah. I'd say I get about 20 to 30 more minutes. So yeah, pull out the wheel. Let's stretch our like conversational improv muscles, like see if we can
Yeah.
riff on a topic. So
Thankfully, these are not maybe not thankfully, but that are very basic right now, and I think that's a good place to start. I
you
will
just want to
say when
show
I
me
was
what you
writing them
designed
down
and not
I didn't design okay, hold on.
you're
Yeah.
embarrassed. You're like a
No,
kid
no, no, no,
presenting
no,
it.
no, no.
Just so
No.
you know.
No, no, no. I'm not embarrassed. I'm saying they're very high level, not not things that are aggressive. So just you know,
So do you think in the future we'll try to like have more like pointed topics and this is just for because we're just starting out?
yes, I
Maybe the
do
one
think that because I think eventually we'll have. I don't know how much of that you can see. Can you see it all?
I can see well, I can see it all, but when we're split screen, I don't know that we'll
Oh,
be able to
okay.
see it.
That's a great point. Okay, I'll
You
bring
might
this
just have to
baby.
like put it in front of your
Just
face
get
or
off
something.
screen, right?
Yeah, there you go. For just
Okay.
until we like I
Yeah.
can't
So
what does that say?
is it backwards
Parenting.
for you? Because it's backwards for me.
No, it's forward.
Okay, I'm gonna read it. I'll read them, and I'll start here.
What the topic for today? It's anyone's guess. Spin the fruity wheel, let's put our small talk skill to the test. It's the whatever wheel, whatever we'll talk about next.
I think what's funny, I'm going to start.
I'm going
at
to
the
add in
beginning
the
just-
sound effect as well for this. So we're going to have a little pause before we spin the wheel, and it's going to
Okay,
play our
yeah.
little thing, and
Yeah,
then you're going to
excellent.
spin it. Okay.
So, okay, that's great. What is funny to me is how these lined up with like money and work, relationship and jealousy, boundaries and burnout,
Actually
parenting
says
and therapy.
friendships, or
What I say?
you said relationship,
Oh, whatever.
I think.
Same. Yeah, whatever. Social media and drinking doesn't really match up, but like marriage and failure could be something that's like good to talk about. And then confidence and resentment. And I think what's funny is I told Jess, I was like, I can take out these middle pieces and we'd have these two chunks of words that we have to combine into a conversation.
Yeah, we can try that. They're kind of good, like yin and yang kind of thing.
Should we just go off the color then real quick?
Sure. Give
Okay.
it a
So
swirl.
ready?
Yeah. It's kind of.
Literally landed on money and work anyway. That's like exactly what it was.
We need to get better at
What a perfect. What do you mean? That was a great. If I was on The Price is Right, I would have won freaking $1,000.
That was a good spin. I'm referring to how fucking anticlimactic us getting to the wheel. It was like, no, here's the wheel, and we like just made it as no
Do you want to try
frills.
again?
No, it's fine. We'll get better as time goes. We'll cultivate our personalities. Like, we know what time it is. It's wheel time. Here's the wheel.
That's great.
We're like kids that can't dance
We're just
at their first prom. Essentially, that's what this is.
I'm a 2-time national dance champion, so I don't want to hear about it.
That's a good example. We'll get there. That was a great example. We can get
right.
to
What a
that
great
point.
yin and yang. Okay.
All right, money and work.
It's like might be the most boring one.
Money and work. I mean, so you want to talk about? Are we gonna? Yeah, go ahead.
But I have an idea. Let's talk about how you are self-employed, and I work for a company.
Okay.
And how that, I mean, I feel like this is probably fairly basic, but the fact that you have to be out there grinding day after day to make sure that you get a normal paycheck to where I get to show up and do my basically 9 to 5 job.
Trying to make me sound like a piece of shit right now.
No, I think you sound like a boss.
You sound like a fucking bum.
No, I think you sound pretty awesome.
In my cushy, dependable insurance providing.
No,
job.
my back hurts. So
poor thing.
Yeah, see,
compressed
because
spine.
Yeah. I think it should be most people's goal to be self-employed. Not it should be your goal, not mean it's going to happen because we're all self-employed. That's probably going to lead to some sort of failure of economic crisis.
I don't think everyone should be self-employed. I actually have good evidence for that because I did think that for a long time. I thought, man, if everyone could just own their own business, live that kind of lifestyle that I have where, I live on a feast or famine type thing with money. It's like, and I've started to learn the more the time goes by, like, I'm in that like gathering like time. So just like hoard as much of it as I can, because there will come a time soon where there will not be any work. Like during the winter right now, I have very like spare work right now. It's not much.
Yeah, but in turn, you knowing that is a possibility and almost maybe even a guarantee, you have another business.
But it's not this is not for everyone.
No, I agree. I take it. I don't take it back. I think it should be your goal to be a boss. How about that? I think your goal should be a boss because when you're a boss, it means you're at the top. Or
at work in a position where where you're like respected for sure, where you have specialized skills to where you can tell people like, hey, back the fuck up, or like shit ain't getting done, okay? Like you need to have some kind of like authority in your position, be it whether you're the boss of the company or whether you're like a doctor performing heart surgery and like everything kind of hinges on you. It's like and I guess there's people I don't want doing shit like that too that would just suck
That's
at
true,
it.
yeah.
But if you're up to the responsibility and you feel like, your current job isn't providing you with the respect or whatever you deserve, like, yeah, you should totally like take more ownership over your work life. But I was gonna say, like, my wife, what I've observed about her versus me, which was really, really interesting, was work really well outside of the boundaries of like um, rules and structure. And it's probably just because I grew up like really like disorganized. I didn't like pay attention in school. I paid attention to what I wanted to pay attention to. I'm an really independent dude, and it just has worked for me. And I do it because I can't do the other thing. I never cultivated those skills. I never learned how to be really like Mr. 9 to 5, whatever. That just doesn't work for me. And so I failed so many times trying to get a 9 to 5 that I was like, well, I guess I have to try to start my own thing. And then I ended up making significantly more money than I ever made or
It
would
kinda
have
makes
made in
sense
those
for me with
jobs.
you too, just knowing you growing up, like, I know you've always been into film, and so doing photography and film as an adult makes a ton of sense, and you're gonna be more successful. Well,
And I'm
you're gonna
smart.
be
I can find ways to do
I'm just joking.
fuck off. I can find ways to be efficient by myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
You
can figure out
probably
where I need to
thrive more with your own
prioritize.
structure. You need
Yeah,
your
I
own
can
structure and not one provided to you. That's funny because, for me, I do kind of the hybrid thing to where I want to own my own business, and I technically do, but I haven't done a lot with it. Uh, Actually 2. But then also I will definitely love the steady paycheck of the 9 to 5, but then I push
Oh
back
yeah.
on things like, and I wonder if it's because I have this hybrid mindset. I push back in a sense where I'm like, "No, I'm gonna work 7:30 to 3:30, because that works better for me." And then I'm like, "Also, I'm gonna wear whatever the fuck I want." Until I get
Yeah,
in
you
trouble
should,
with it.
man.
So I do kind of like push those boundaries and stuff, and I think part of that might be because I would just much rather be a boss. But I'm also like, I can end up being a boss by doing this, like working my way up. Uh,
I If I was in your position and I was capable of doing what you do, I would have done it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I get
yeah,
in trouble when I work a normal
with other
job.
people.
Yeah, like, I get in trouble because I can't concentrate. I, um, don't like rules that I don't see the value in, and sometimes there is a lot of value in those rules, and I just am pushing back because I don't fucking like being told what to do. And then on top of that, I make terrible mistakes because it's not my thing. It's not my business. I only have minor skin in the game. And dude, FedEx, I got fired, and I was real close to getting fired from having collisions in the company vehicle. I drove away multiple times with the back door of the truck open. Many times. This is not, and it's like, and I get back in after each time and I'm like, how fucking many times am I gonna have to? Because it would give me a heart attack every time I get out, and I'd be like, "Fuck, dude, I just drove down the road for like 10 miles with the back doors just swinging in the wind. Did somebody call it in?" Like the first time, that was my fear. I'm like, "Dude, they definitely called it in. I'm gonna get fired," and I didn't get fired. And then it stopped. Like it slowly started to get to be less of a big deal, but it's just like you just start to get really hard on yourself because you're like, "What's fucking wrong with me? Am I fucking
I'm
retarded?"
gonna I'm gonna cut back that we're gonna edit a nice little video for this one where you said I'm smart and I went and then you're like and then I did this.
No, it sucks because I do have the reflective capacity to look at what I'm doing and go, I know that's really low IQ shit. It's a combination of like nerves, right? It's taking the job. Some of it's taking the job really seriously, like too seriously. Like my first job at Sheep Creek Lodge, I wanted to do an amazing job. As a consequence, I got in my own way to where I wasn't able to do an amazing job, to where the kid next to me, who was a fucking stoner, who was on the verge of dropping out of high school because he was borderline retarded, high all the time, was a way better dishwasher than me. Like, we were being trained on the dishwasher, like, it's your turn now, Nick. And I had to go over and like demonstrate that I knew how it worked. And I was so focused on trying to like do a good job and like not fuck it up that I opened it while it was running and it sprayed me in the face with water. And I remember
Hot water.
turning, and the boss and the stoner kid were both laughing at me like I was a fucking moron. And I was just looking at that's really humiliating. And I was just looking at the stoner kid and I'm like,
Uh,
you're dumber than me.
well, I think what's good about that is you're able to recognize that stuff, like, and be upset that you did it. It's the people that do that stuff. I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm like, okay, you're not going anywhere. You're not making
Dude,
any money in life.
one of my college teachers that I really liked started to hate me because he couldn't understand that me laughing and reflecting on like they set me up with this internship working on some video project with one of the guys from Boy Meets World. Was like, that was the actor that everyone's like excited he's in it. Like, Ryder Strong was his name. And I was supposed to be driving one of the work vehicles, collecting things for the production. I didn't know Washington. Long story short, I got into a situation I wasn't comfortable in driving the truck. We didn't have Google Maps and shit back then. I had a
Oh,
printed
right.
out piece of paper trying to navigate through downtown Seattle in a big ass truck. And I was 18, and I ended up scuffing the vehicle along the side of another vehicle when I was trying to park it. And this was after like panic attacks, just going through traffic going, I'm so lost. I'm so lost. I'm 45 fucking minutes late already. I
Ugh,
should be there. Oh my God. And then
fucking
I
stress diarrhea right there.
fucked up the truck. And then when I showed up at the thing, I was supposed to have a bunch of stuff. I didn't have any of it. And he's like, do you have your envelope full of like receipts that he had been compiling? He gave me his envelope full of his receipts that he was going to get reimbursed for. So he's like, you have the envelope full of receipts? And I had fucking lost the envelope in all of my stress. So they were actually going to forgive me for scratching the car. They're like, it's fine. It's insured. Where's the envelope? And I was like, I don't have it. And they were like, I think it's time to call it a day, Nick. And I was like,
Oh,
I
that's
couldn't
funny.
agree more. I couldn't agree more. I just want to go home. And I went home and I hugged the sidewalk at my little apartment. I'm like, I'm glad to be home. I don't want to do that. And
Oh man.
I tried to make the light of it like I am now, talking to my friend. And I talked to the teacher who set me up with it, and I tried to like, you can tell the way I'm talking about it right now. I'm not fucking proud, right? You can tell
Right,
that, right?
right.
I'm not
Yeah, yeah.
proud of these things. I'm like embarrassed and
No, it's
like,
good
but
reflection.
what
Yeah.
can I do, right? And so the fact that I was smiling about it, my teacher couldn't get that.
But that's like probably
he went
more
like
of a
this. He was
nervous
like,
thing.
it is nervousness,
Yeah.
but he was just like, Nick didn't take that seriously. And then he just didn't like me after that. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
fuck you, dude.
It's a
And then he
bummer.
died from cancer. And then I was like, I had really mixed feelings about that. I had mixed feelings about that because we didn't really reconcile. And I really liked him before that. But I don't know, man.
Man,
Anyways,
that's
that's it.
funny. I was going to tell you about my mishap with a vehicle one time, but yours kind of takes the cake.
Does it really?
Yeah, mine was, but I think the matter of fact is that I was just as stressed out as you were,
But
even
you were
though it
able
was.
to. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
I'm
I'm
cutting you
still
off.
so embarrassed about it. I hate that it happened because I was working for the storage facility, and part of my job was to plow snow.
Mm,
I managed 50,000 square feet of storage. That meant the units and the actual facility itself. So I was always moving snow as well. And one time I was taught how to plow snow, and one of the cool tricks you can do was like when you back plow. So you go up
mm.
and you put the plow and then you come reverse out.
Scrape it. Yeah.
So I was in the lightest freaking vehicle that we had because it had the only bed it had was just plywood laying down. It wasn't like an actual real bed. And so
It's basically
I
just
was
a
like,
cab.
yeah. And I'm like, let me just go ahead and do this new trick that I learned of
Thought
back
you feeling a
plowing.
little confident. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I got this shit.
Yeah.
And I start backing out, but my back end is so light that everything just starts doing one of these. And I scrape this what today would have been a $50,000 RV.
Oh,
And I had to
shit.
like, yeah, and it wasn't great, but it wasn't insane. But I was also like, I don't like. At least I stopped because I was like, I can't keep going because I think I'm gonna make it worse. And so I had to like call people to come like pull the car, like tow the car to the side in this like
'Cause you didn't
really
wanna keep
sketchy way.
scratching. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had to call the person and tell them I did this, and then my bosses were like, "We are gonna pay for this. We actually own like a such and such company. We'll try and buff it out. If not, blah blah blah." But I was like, "I'm gonna get fired." I'm like, I didn't know a lot about how that stuff works as far as like insurance or how bad it could be, and then it ended up being fine. But I'm still like, I can't believe I did such a stupid thing. Like, because now I'm like, yeah, you don't do that. That ass end of that car was way too light.
Mm.
And that spot was probably way too tight.
Well, I think if I learned anything from mine, it was like, don't do things if you don't feel comfortable. And I was saying I didn't feel comfortable driving, and I told the guy when he gave me the keys, I was like, I don't want to drive this truck. He's like, it's fine, it's fine. Just follow her. She's going to this spot.
In
You'll be fine.
Seattle too is
We were
insane.
on the outskirts of Seattle, but he was like, just follow her and it's fine. And then I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. Just as long as you follow her, you're good, right? And I was like, I can follow her, sure. And then we started walking to the cars, and then she got a call, and she's like, all right, Nick, I'm gonna have to go this way, and you're gonna just
You're gonna follow your Google Map
you're gonna have to
printout,
go there.
your map
Yeah.
quest.
And she's like, just go back to the office and print out the directions to this thing. And I'm like, I don't even know where the office is. I know we just left it, but I don't know how to get
How to
there
get back,
anymore.
yeah.
I'm confused. And I should
What
have
a
just been
time.
like, and I didn't want to lose the thing. So I was like, I'll try. And I should have just been like, I don't care if you guys don't like me and you think I'm a bitch. I'm not doing it. Because it would have
Yeah.
been way better.
I don't blame you, it's uncomfortable. I have the trailer that the travel trailer that we use all the time, and at first, I was so nervous to pull that. I would much rather drive a big U-Haul than tow a trailer, and
Mm,
so I was, like, very nervous that I was gonna fuck shit up, and my truck at the time was strong
Tacoma.
enough, but yeah, strong enough, but also, like, now that I know the difference between that and, like, a stronger truck, I'm like, "Whoa, I can't believe I put myself through that."
Yeah. Well, so yeah, as far as work is concerned, like, part of it's caring too much, and then part of it is like at the end of the day, like you feel bad about what happened with you, right? I felt bad about what happened with me, but I'm not gonna beat myself up about it forever. I already know I fucked up. And so
Yeah.
that was the thing with that teacher. I'm
Yeah.
like, do you want me to hate myself? Right?
Yeah, forever, you're just
Like,
gonna shame
I
me.
understand you think I'm not taking this seriously enough, but it's like, you didn't see me. Like, I'm pretty sure this shit happened on that day. I'm not even joking. I'm pretty sure this happened on that day.
I can
And
tell you right when this shit happened too.
yeah, this was literally I was smoking back then, so I was fucking chain smoking, and I just remember like something flipped inside me. I went past the precipice of like how stressed I thought I could be, and I went past that, and I was just like, oh, there's a whole new level of like stress, and then I just kind of topped out on how stressed I was, and I just kind of like lived in that state of stress for about I don't know, an hour and a half to 2 hours until I parked the car. And then, I mean, I can't explain to you how relieving it was to park, but that, to bring it,
Dude,
yeah,
100% understand because once I'm done towing that trailer, I'm like, I'm way
yeah.
better at it than I used to be, but it's like, oh my God, I'm done.
I mean,
Get
I
me a
used to get
drink.
forced to drive the forklift at Home Depot to carry around big bales of lumber
Pallets of stuff. Yeah.
in the
Oh, yeah.
snow, and it would all fall off the forks and shit because there's giant potholes back there and all this wind and
Well, at least that's
craziness.
out of your control. Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody else was brave enough to do it. And like I've built up a fairly high tolerance for stress at this point where I'm like, I can manage like a pretty high level of stress.
Dude, you and I are really the same that way.
Yeah,
I get to a point where I'm like, I'd rather deal with the stress than somebody else because I know I can handle it better than they can.
for sure.
And I
So,
would hate for them to fail and then feel like a failure. No, that
so,
builds character, but still.
so
Sorry.
with regards to work, yeah, I just couldn't do anything else besides work for myself. And and I am just uncomfortable in a work environment working for somebody else. I care so much and I can't concentrate. And so, yeah, I've like failed at all of these other jobs. And it's just, when I work for myself, if I break my camera lens, it's my lens, right?
Yeah,
Like I've
that's true.
broken it a couple times, but it's my fucking lens. And if
But
I
you
keep
also have
breaking it,
the
I have to pay for.
ambition.
Yeah, exactly. I know I have strengths that compensate for my weaknesses, and those strengths far exceed my weaknesses, and so I'm able to make a pretty good amount of money. Um, but on the opposite end of things, my wife needs structure much more than me. Like she's been doing self-employed stuff, and she's really good at the organization and like building a structure out of it. But the inconsistent pay and the for different careers, you have to be like constantly resourceful. You have to be constantly like coming up with new things, and your heart has to be like in the thing that your entrepreneur,
Yeah.
your
No, I love
whatever
that.
your entrepreneur thing is. So for her, I'm like, you would do good as like a doctor or a pilot or something like that, where it's like, here's the guideline, here's what you can and cannot do, and just like learn your domain really well, and she'll fucking do that perfectly. Like she's so perfect and meticulous about learning details and doing things the way they're supposed to be done, but she needs that like list of like, here's the rules, here's this, and then she can like kick ass, basically.
Yeah, that's great though. I think that's like kind of where the perfect example of where opposites attract, right? Where she like thrives off the structure and you're like, I don't want to be provided structure. I want to control my own environment.
Yeah,
And that's probably why you guys work so well.
money and work.
Money and work. See, now we erase it and we write something else later.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good one, man. Um,
Yeah, those all work pretty damn well. I probably just out of being lazy, just leave these in here, these extra ones.
yeah, those are
Never know
good.
if we don't want to like separate it. So I definitely need to change this bullshit. This is dumb.
Win. What are you winning?
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing.
No, definitely not. What I want to put it maybe is our logo in there somewhere, or just like the wheel of whatever.
Which way did you spin the wheel? The
This
opposite
way.
direction that the arrows are going on the win thing.
Well, yeah, that's true. But
Got to
I
get
would have
rid of
had to
that
stand on
shit.
this side and gone that way.
Gotta get rid of the win thing.
No, I like to go against the grain.
Is there anything else that we should talk about money and work?
We did a really good job of emphasizing work. So maybe like doing the two on here could be difficult, but not too much. Um,
So what about
but
money?
but the goal with money and work is obviously to work yourself up to making more gosh damn money. So
Work yourself to death,
like if
basically.
you don't have the ambition to actually grow your savings or have a 401k, you're not going to be successful when you're older unless you just luck into the lottery,
See, that's what I'm
which I
banking
try
on.
for. Yeah,
I
I
ain't
try
got
all
a
the time.
401k. Dude,
Well,
kid.
okay. So wait, hold
Okay.
on. Neither did my.
All right. All
I'm
right.
just saying. Neither did my dad because
Mm.
he owned his own construction company, and then maybe he did when he had like another construction company or whatever. But the fact, like, I think there's no way. My dad does way better if he's his own boss. He did great with when he had a boss, but I know he needs to be his own boss. And so, and the goal then when you are your own boss is to make as much money as possible because you're banking on yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
You're the reason for your failure and success.
Yeah. That's a way more intense feeling. That's why some people don't thrive in that environment,
Yeah.
cuz everything
But
comes
know
down to
you can
you.
still do your own 401k. You can still set yourself up with one.
I don't need a 401k.
I it's funny because I go back and forth because I'm like, I hate that I'm putting all this money when like the economy could fail or whatever. I'm putting all this money into this thing to grow and I'm not
Yeah.
utilizing it now, but I love the idea of hopefully having a lot later to where I
I got
can
some
retire.
crypto, bruh. I'll be good.
That's true. I didn't do that. And you tried to talk me into that early and I
I
feel
got tons
I
of
missed
crypto
it.
that ain't worth shit right now, but it will be. Just give me
You hope.
another year.
Yeah.
Another year and I'll be rich. I feel bad for kids nowadays that have to think about trying to make enough money to buy houses and being
Dude,
realistic about like what kind of work are you going to do. Like you're going to have two people in your household working to make enough money to do anything,
and it also
basically.
depends on where you live. So,
Yeah. But
yeah.
just a normal salary, like how are you going to buy a house? They're like fucking
But
at least 500,000 right now.
that is a shithole here in Washington,
Well, yeah, in
500,000.
Washington, like,
Yeah.
yeah, in Washington, it's like 1 million.
Like, the people that got their house, like, I think I would say that anybody that bought their house and, like, let's go 6 to 15 years ago, the equity they've gained is insane. But also they don't
Yeah.
wanna sell because then they have to go and, like, the can you really upgrade? Probably not, but unless you move to a different state.
I would suggest
It's like gambling.
if you're a kid and you're young, it doesn't matter if it's a shithole, just buy a house instead of renting. If you can buy
I think
something,
that's wise.
any houses that you spend money on is going to be equity for your future house later. So even if you have to buy some not so glamorous house, at least you're not just paying rent, which is literally just burning your fucking money. That's it.
Well, I'm gonna argue against that a little bit here for this scenario here. I have been able to save money, like here and there, mostly because of like maybe a bonus here or there or whatever, and not like a ton regularly. And I'm renting, but I'm able to save, so I want to keep saving until I can actually buy a house I want.
I fail to see the strong argument you're providing. You're spending money on
Because I
rent,
can't afford anything else right now.
but you
So, but
could
I'm
have.
able to save.
So the only the only argument I could see that would be from your perspective would be, I don't want to live in a shithole, right?
No, I need to live close to my work too, though, because I
Okay,
have to
okay.
go
So
in.
part of it's location,
Yeah.
and so you can't afford a house, literally any house in your area, then. Because my argument to you
When
would
I tell
be,
you shithole at 500,000, I mean it's an abandoned house with rotten walls where you're
yeah,
still gonna end up having a $4,500 or a
fo-
mortgage, and then
yeah.
you can't fix that stuff because you're paying $4,500 in your
Yeah,
mortgage.
it is literally like,
Yeah.
it's like 4,000 right now, I think. 4,000
4,000
for a
is generous.
for a $500,000
Oh,
house
yeah.
is like
Yeah, yeah.
4,000, I
Yeah.
think. And
Yeah.
but if you take the amount of money that you spend on an apartment or a rental over 2 or 3 years, and if you're spending 2,500 to $4,000 per month, and you multiply that by 24 months to 48 months, how much money could you have in equity in something that you could turn around and
Okay.
sell later? You know
Sure,
what I'm
but
saying?
also, like, stressing yourself out to make a mortgage payment to where I can still build my savings and afford something later because
So
it's
the
gonna help with
mortgage
the down
payment
payment.
is too high, basically, essentially. You're saying even on like an expensive house, the
It
mortgage payment is more
well,
than the what you could pay for. I get it.
correct, yes,
You're
and
priced out of buying a house,
also,
basically.
yeah, my goal isn't to just have enough money to pay my mortgage, I wanna be able to pay my mortgage and still save money and do cool shit.
Turning into us talking about you specifically. We should have just kept this in a generalized thing rather than March.
Ah, it's
It's
life or
fine.
whatever, so yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. No,
it is not just specific to me, I think it's a real, like, middle class problem,
it
especially
is,
in this
dude.
state.
And
Yeah.
it's gonna be even worse for some 20-year-old kid who's trying to
Yeah,
like find a chick to marry, and he's got to do it on it. He's got to figure out how to make money on his own because he doesn't have mommy and
and they're gonna stop
daddy's.
having kids, and that's why people are having kids later, and I'm like, "That sucks." I'm grateful that I had kids young because I'm gonna be young enough when they're older to do fun stuff with them instead of freaking being a
Like me,
geriatric with an 18-year-old. No,
like me.
you're still in a decent window. How old
Um,
is Hannah?
she's a little younger than me,
Yeah, that's what I
so
figured.
uh,
Get on it.
I
I want to see
I
little
think
Zagraphos is about.
thanks. Yeah, I just think it's going to be hard for young people, especially to have any upward mobility if they come from a household where they're not like
Yeah,
being
and
gifted money, you know.
yep, it makes me feel like it's intentional too.
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it? The divide between like people who are cuz I would have thought like you and I would be considered like pretty high income earners, and we still kind of
Mhm.
technically
We
are,
probably are, yeah.
but that's slow, like it not even slowly, it's like we're rapidly being pushed into like we can't afford shit, which makes us the same as the low income people, and in some cases even worse because we can't qualify for any benefits.
Yeah, that's true too, yeah.
So we're getting
But
taxed
also
out the ass.
we're at least it's good enough that or we're doing okay enough to be able to have a nice place too. We're not renting a shithole as well. So, but that's the same idea as like I want to keep moving up in life, and I feel like the battles we have to freaking face to get one step forward instead of two steps back is crazy right now.
Well, that's like in Russia, they came after the upper middle class earners, the farmers and stuff. It wasn't the lower class people were fine. It was the anyone who had any kind of upward mobility, they wanted to like kick the legs out from underneath them and put
Mhm.
them into the lower class, basically. So, you know, we're going to keep getting taxed more. They're going to raise the prices on things so that small
Isn't that
business
funny? Like
becomes
we,
unaffordable.
oh yeah, agreed. It's just funny we were founded on part of like the foundation of America was anti-tax.
I literally just told Hannah about that when we were driving. I was
Yeah.
like, "Do you understand that like when we were the colonies, we fucking killed people when they tried to tax us
Yeah, yeah. They tried to
without
come
any kind
over.
of yeah,
Actually,
we
assuming history is correct, the actual fact that we came over here and they were like, "No, fuck you. We're not going to be taxed for tea," and they tried to come fight us on it. We won is pretty fucking cool.
we're kicking ass over here doing well, and they're like they tried to be the fucking the what do you call it? The tax collector, like the fucking gangster that came over and was trying to
Yeah,
scrape off of
yeah,
what we were doing. Like, so you're
yeah.
doing pretty good over here. Why don't you pay for your protection? It's like, what are you
Dude,
providing
that's
me
like
exactly? What are you providing
great
me? And
analogy. It's like
what
watching
is
Tulsa King.
yeah, what is our government providing us? Not a
Yeah.
functioning USPS.
Actually, you can argue that they're still just like the mafia. They're like, "Hey, all that money
They
you give
are the
us, it's for
mafia, dude.
protection." Yeah,
The
it's for
tax, they,
protection.
dude, they literally, I'm not even joking. They are the mafia. Try not to pay your taxes. You get fucking killed.
Right.
They'll
Yeah.
come to your house, dude, with guns if you don't pay
Yeah.
if you don't
Yeah.
pay the money that they demand that you pay them, and they want to see
But
everything you
also,
make.
I would have a lot easier time paying my taxes if they were upfront about what I owe month to month or paycheck to paycheck, but they're not. It's like a fucking guessing game.
I'm not up to paying my taxes because the federal government does all kinds of things that I
Oh, I
never
don't
agreed
want to.
to.
I'm
I never
totally down
agreed
to
to pay
not have
for any
federal
of that
taxes.
shit, dude. I
Yeah.
never agreed to any of it, and we're being taxed so significantly much more than our ancestors were when they decided to fucking revolt and go fucking on a murder spree. We're being taxed way more, but it's like
Yeah.
we've become acclimated to just bending over and letting them insert like larger and larger things into our ass. And now we're like conditioned to just accept this is the way that it needs to be. We're getting fucking raped essentially at this point.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
like,
And it's
well,
fun.
somebody's like, I'm not paying taxes this year. And then everyone else is like, well, you know,
Yeah, but you're right. If everybody decided not to, but
you can't even like openly have this conversation without fear of like having them fucking audit you. That's how you know
yeah,
they're
well,
gangsters.
agreed. Yeah.
You
Well, that's
can't be you.
why
It's like
I do my
yeah.
best to pay more than I try. Like last year, I ended up owing a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Uh, because I had this new job and then it's like you have multiple jobs. Oh, never. I'm gonna go down a way too personal road if I keep talking about money that way. But the
Yeah,
point is that I don't feel like there's I feel like I'm just set up for failure. Like they just want they want you to fail in a sense where you feel like you've got to stay exactly where you're at because if you make much more money, you're gonna have to pay more.
yeah, for sure.
So it's really frustrating.
It's just the government is supposed to be there to help us live our best lives, and instead you see it every day where the government comes out and they're like, we're the ones who are in control and you are our subservience, and it's like, nah,
Yeah.
bitch, you're my
This is
fucking employee.
So that's why I think they make sure we're divided too. Because if we all came to the same consensus, like, could be in a lot of freaking trouble. Like, if we're all like, whoa, 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 no, all like 90% of us Americans are done playing your stupid game.
Yeah, not with their
But if as
crazy
long as they keep us in control.
sound wave military
Yeah, yeah, the
technology where
new
they can just
Venezuela stuff. You're right. You know what?
explode our
Maybe
heads with their sound wave
I'm gonna
technology.
go a little conspiracy theory on there. Maybe they
Maybe that's a lie. Yeah, I
shared
thought
that
the
so
same
that we
thing.
think that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're like more afraid of what our military is capable of.
Yeah.
I
Wow, we're so smart.
I thought the same thing. I think yeah, I think we too often forget. I had a guy I was talking to, some California dude, and he's like, in California, we pay more in taxes. We're actually supporting your poor Republican state's ass with all of the taxes we pay. And I'm like, wow, what a shitty brag that you're paying fucking way more in your state for taxes. He's like, we support
Uh,
your low income Republican asses with the taxes we pay. So
as
shut
we're like,
up.
please leave.
Yeah, dude, like, why are you bragging about paying more taxes, you fucking idiot?
Yeah,
So
so dumb.
stupid. Like, proud of paying taxes because you support the government so much. And then you're like, no
which
kings, no kings.
which is also a lot of state fucking taxes in California.
Yeah, dude. They get taxed out the butt and then they get
Why
told
do you
that
think
they
the
can't
majority
have.
of lotto winners are in that area?
Yeah, yeah, good point. And they get told they can't have gas stoves and shit. It's like, dude, if you don't,
Right. Yeah.
if you as a state are so on the same page about being green about everything, why don't you guys just do it? Why do you need to like mandate it and have it come from Gavin Newsom like as a law? You know,
Right.
why does it have to be enforced if it's what everybody
If it's
wants?
just so great, yeah,
If it's
exactly.
so awesome,
Because they're going away from. Well, I imagine they might have changed their tune, but they were going away from gas vehicles, and you had to have eventually
yeah,
have
they
to have an
wanted to
electric.
force you to have the EV.
Yeah, which apparently they don't know how energy works.
So stupid, and it's dumb that people are so cool with like government overreach when it's something that they've been conditioned to think is awesome, but then when it's something that they don't like, they're like, Nazis, Nazis. And it's like,
Yeah,
dude, you're a
yeah.
cuck for your government if it's something you want, and you're like, yeah, fucking shoot them if they don't fucking mask up for COVID, fucking shoot them, you know.
It's funny, the person that you argued with about the taxes, they're probably really liberal, and it's
And
like, wait, so
they
now
probably do
you're
make a ton of money too.
yeah, and now you're bragging that you're gonna pay more federal taxes for
They're
a government
definitely
that you don't
liberal.
support, even though a lot of your taxes are going to a state that is enforcing it.
Mm.
Just it's like doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
It's stupidity, man. You're right. They keep us divided so that we can't realize that we're
that
all
they
being
all
duped by
yeah.
this group of fucking slugs that sit around and trade our money, basically. They trade
Yeah.
our money and they start wars so that they can pay their friends and fucking get get what they want, and
Yeah,
then
so
convince us
everybody
that
in
we care
Congress can
about.
make more money
Yeah.
off of their investments than the rest of the people because apparently they know more about investing their money than actual investment bankers.
Yeah, right. And then convince us that we care about like dumb shit that we don't even care about. They create issues, and that's what makes me so mad about the liberals is they create issues, and then you become the foot soldiers that you literally like banty around these things, and
you're like, I
you
identify this way. I better argue the same way.
I better chop my fucking dick off. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you chopped your dick off because someone told you that was a cool thing to do. You fucking idiot. It's so dumb.
Well,
You
I feel
literally
like
transform your whole life for that shit.
it's funny to me now the writing seems like on the wall when we were in high school because for whatever reason, and maybe this was a phase and maybe this happened more to other generations, but I was like, how come all these young girls are like, I'm a lesbian? Like out of nowhere. I'm like, that doesn't, I don't know. That just made me think of that because of like literally I had that thought in high school. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yep. And it's just a social contagion, dude. It's about fitting in. People like to fit in.
Yeah, it was a cool fad.
Yeah, it's like the arrows on the floor, man. It's like
yeah.
you need that shit. It's like, what are we doing now? What are we doing now? Like if somebody doesn't tell me what we're doing now, I'm gonna freak the fuck out because I don't know what to do by myself. Right? Like we are chopping our dicks off now.
Should not be their own jobs. Or should not
we're
be their own
chopping our
bosses.
dicks off, and we are pretending to be women. Okay, thank God someone told me because I was about to lose it. I couldn't be a man. I couldn't just be a man and do my shit and figure shit out for myself and look to the fucking oldest book in recorded history to give me some wisdom, right? I got to look to these like modern day fat fucking slugs in our political system and the biggest I got to go soon, but the biggest attention whores ever.
I gotta pee.
These big the politicians are all attention whores, man.
Oh yeah, that's why they're all so good at social media. You think they are individually good at social media? No, they hire people to be good at it for the attention, for the
fucking
the
dorks,
actual reaction.
Dude.
Yeah,
they're dorks. Like what like what's the topic? What am I supposed to get riled up about? And then they come out there and they just want to be like in the center of it, whatever it is. That's it. And I think that's what Trump. I think Trump to a degree is that as well.
Attention. Yeah,
it's like
100%. Yeah.
What's going on?
Unfortunately for him, he actually does, I think, control his own social media, which is probably one of his biggest downfalls.
Yep. He made it all about himself, too. He made everything about himself, which, I mean, to a degree is better than talking about. I do like that he's able to make them talk about him so much they kind of forget their shit that they were trying to talk about. Like, they forget their own points because they're like...
what if he purposely created TDS?
I think he, by being so self-absorbed, it
but
just
like doing it intentionally, like if he was like, let's distract.
Well, he knows how to provoke people. He knows how to come out and say some shit that's gonna just get everyone to look at him. Like he definitely knows how to
even
do that.
Like we're like, dude, please. Like imagine if you were just presidential. Like
we live in a different world, but
we do.
Yeah. All right, brother.
I'm going to go watch the movie Idiocracy now.
Yeah, right. I.e. the news.
Yeah. Good point.
All right.
I also need to pee. But
we'll have fun with that. I got to pee as well.
Yeah.
And I got to make dinner. We'll pee at the same time probably if we log out.
Dude, that's special.
You ready? Should we try to time it at the same time?
I mean, my bathroom's 4 or 5 steps away.
Mine is too. It's right here. I think we can do it. You want to try?
Sounds great. Wait, we're just going to keep recording and pee at the same time? Or?
No, we're just going to believe that we're doing it at the same time.
It's probably
if you have to pee for longer than like 30 seconds, then there will be a point where we're peeing at the same time. So just
I'm definitely peeing for longer than 30 seconds.
Okay, try to pee for longer than 30 seconds and it'll happen at the same time. All right?
I love this. All right,
ready?
I'll talk to you later, man. All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.